Arachnophobia, fear of spiders. Spiders were a real danger to our ancestors millions of years ago. Some species are venomous and still pose a risk in certain regions of the world. Your brain evolved to detect them quickly through highly sophisticated subcortical mechanisms. Researchers discovered that we have specific structures in the brain that recognize spiders faster than any other animal. You don't learn this fear through experience. You're born with it already coded in your evolutionary DNA. But here's the fundamental problem. Your brain can't differentiate between a harmless spider and a dangerous one in real time. People with arachnophobia see spiders much larger than they actually are in reality. A 2-centimeter spider becomes a 10-centimeter monster in your perception. This is pure perceptual distortion. It's your mind creating the enemy you fear, amplifying characteristics that don't exist. Your amygdala is in constant overdrive. Arachnophobia affects between 2.7% and 6.1% of the global population in different scientific studies. It's possibly the most common animal phobia in the world. Women have arachnophobia 3 times more frequently than men in virtually all documented research. But here's the curious fact that changes everything. Less than 1% of spiders in the world are aggressive by nature or pose real danger. The greatest danger associated with spiders is ignorance and lack of education about them. Semi-aquatic spiders can actively hunt fish in streams and small bodies of water around the world. More than 80 incidents have been scientifically documented by researchers in different countries and continents. A small spider in a stream capturing a fish much larger than itself, demonstrating predatory intelligence. Your fear of a spider in your bathroom starts to seem less justified when you discover that they are versatile and intelligent predators with no interest in humans. Ophidiophobia, fear of snakes. Snakes were a real and significant threat to our ancestors hundreds of thousands of years ago. They still are in many parts of the world where population density is lower and habitats overlap. Your brain has a rapid detection system for snakes, just like for spiders, developed over millions of years of evolution. Researchers call this the evolutionary preparedness theory. You are biologically predisposed to fear snakes even without prior experience with them. But here's the crucial difference with arachnophobia. With snakes, the fear can be justified in specific and geographic contexts. 2 million people are bitten by snakes every year around the world. Between 81,000 and 138,000 die annually from these venomous bites. This is real and documented in World Health Organization reports. But most people who have ophidiophobia will never live in a region where snakes are common or pose real risk. Your fear is ancestral, not rational, or based on real risk. Ophidiophobia is more common in tropical and subtropical regions where snakes pose real and documented risk to the population. But in developed and temperate cities, it's often a learned fear, not biologically inborn or instinctive. Children watch adults fear snakes and learn that snakes are dangerous through vicarious learning and cultural transmission. Socially transmitted trauma is as powerful as pure evolutionary instinct. Snakes don't have movable eyelids like humans and other mammals do. Their eyes never blink, which creates a disturbing sensation that they are always watching, always threatening you specifically. It's an evolutionary design that activates our ancestral alert system instantly when we see them. But snakes aren't watching you consciously or with intention. They have no interest in humans and prefer to avoid confrontation at all costs. Myrmecophobia, fear of ants. Ants are small individually, but in large numbers represented a real and significant danger to our ancestors in natural environments. Fire ants can bite hundreds of times in rapid succession, causing extreme pain. Their venom causes intense pain and severe allergic reactions in some predisposed people. Our ancestors were right to fear swarms of ants in environments where they lived and worked. This fear has solid and documented evolutionary basis. But here's the important twist. Most people with myrmecophobia don't fear being attacked by a real and aggressive swarm. They have intense and irrational disgust of ants. Disgust is a protective emotion completely different from genuine fear. Researchers discovered that insects in the home provoke a strong neurological reaction of disgust, not genuine and rational fear. It's as if your brain says, "This is dirty, this is dangerous, get away immediately." Anaphylactic reactions to fire ant bites occur in 0.6% to 16% of bitten people, depending on individual sensitivity and allergic history. This means most bitten people don't have severe or potentially fatal reactions. But disgust is universal and transcultural in virtually all human cultures. Even people who have never been bitten feel revulsion at seeing ants crawling. Fire ants were accidentally introduced to the United States in 1930 through cargo ships from South America. Today, they occupy approximately 130 million acres of land in the U.S. and continue to expand. They cause more than $20 million in economic damage per year in agricultural losses and control costs. Your fear of ants? Maybe it's more justified than you think when you consider the real environmental and economic impact. Cynophobia, fear of dogs. Dogs were domesticated approximately 15,000 years ago by humanity in different parts of the world. Before that, they were wild wolves and dangerous predators that hunted in coordinated packs. Your fear of dogs has deep origins in a time when wild dogs represented a real threat of death. This instinct remains coded in our nervous system even after thousands of years of domestication and selective breeding. But here's the fundamental paradox. Dogs are the animals that live with us most closely today in urban and rural environments. They were domesticated specifically to help us and protect us from external threats. People with cynophobia fear not the real and present dog, but the abstract idea of the dog. It's pure anticipatory anxiety based on imagined scenarios. They imagine the worst-case scenario before anything actually happens. Cynophobia is often the result of specific trauma in childhood or adolescence. A child was bitten by a dog at some point in their life. Now, every time they see a dog, their brain vividly relives that traumatic moment with details. It's learning from negative experience, not evolutionary instinct or biologically inborn fear. Trauma reconditions the brain and nervous system. Dogs cause 99% of human rabies cases worldwide, according to the World Health Organization. Rabies kills approximately 70,000 people per year globally in developing countries. But most of these deaths occur in developing countries where access to vaccine is limited or completely non-existent. In developed countries, rabies is practically eliminated through post-exposure vaccination. Your fear of dogs in a safe city is a ghost from the past. Ailurophobia, fear of cats. Cats were not a significant ancestral threat to humans in any period of documented evolutionary history. They are small compared to adult humans. They naturally avoid direct confrontation and prefer flight to fight. So, why do some people develop intense fear of cats? The answer doesn't lie in biological evolution. Ailurophobia is often linked to cultural superstition and social learning, not biologically programmed evolutionary instinct. In medieval Europe, black cats were associated with witchcraft and black magic in popular narratives. This cultural fear was transmitted through generations via stories, traditions, and popular media. Today, people with ailurophobia fear a cultural idea, not a real cat. Ailurophobia is one of the least common phobias among all documented animal phobias in epidemiological studies. But when present, it causes severe anxiety when thinking about or seeing images of cats. It's purely psychological and based on social learning and cultural transmission. Prevalence is low, but suffering is real for those who experience it. Cats purr at a specific frequency that can promote bone healing and cell regeneration in mammals. They were venerated as gods in ancient Egypt 5,000 years ago in temples and sanctuaries. Killing a cat was a capital crime punished by death or severe mutilation. Your fear of a cat is a rejection of 5,000 years of human history and cultural reverence. Ornithophobia, fear of birds. Birds of prey were real predators of our primate ancestors millions of years ago in natural environments. Eagles and falcons hunted small and vulnerable primates in trees and open spaces. Your fear of birds has deep origins in a time when looking at the sky meant risk of imminent death. This alert system remains active in our brain. But here's the important twist. Most people with ornithophobia don't fear dangerous and predatory birds of prey. They fear pigeons, sparrows, any common and harmless bird. It's fear of unpredictability and erratic and unpredictable movement. Birds move chaotically, and your brain can't predict what they'll do next. Ornithophobia is rare compared to other documented animal phobias, but when present, causes severe anxiety when seeing or hearing birds. People with this phobia often avoid parks, squares, and open spaces where birds are common. The impact on quality of life can be significant and limiting. Crows can recognize individual human faces and remember them for years and even decades. They remember people who threatened them or were unkind to them. They share this information with other crows through complex and sophisticated communication. If you're unkind to a crow, the entire crow population of your city will know. Your fear of birds is a fear of being judged by creatures more intelligent than you imagine. Apiphobia, fear of bees. Bees can sting and inject painful venom in defense of the colony. Their venom causes intense pain and allergic reactions in predisposed people. In large numbers, they represent a real and documented threat to humans. Your fear of bees is evolutionarily justified in contexts where swarms are common. This fear has rational basis. But here's the fact that completely changes perspective. Bees don't want to sting you at all. Stinging is suicide for a bee because they lose their stinger and die immediately. They only sting as a last resort of defense when threatened. People with apiphobia fear an accident, not an intentional attack or planned aggression. Allergic reactions to bee stings can be fatal in people with severe anaphylaxis and genetic predisposition. Anaphylaxis is rare, but possible in the general population and requires immediate epinephrine. For allergic people, the fear is justified and rational. For most of the population, the fear is exaggerated and disproportionate. Bees dance to communicate the exact location of flowers and food sources to other bees. They have a sophisticated and complex mathematical language called the bee dance. They build perfect hexagonal structures with remarkable geometric precision. Your fear of bees is a fear of finding intelligence, organization, and purpose in a small body. Ichthyophobia, fear of fish. Fish were not a significant ancestral threat to terrestrial humans in any period of human evolution. Humans don't live in water, and fish don't leave water to hunt humans. So why do some people develop intense fear of fish? The answer lies in deep psychological factors. Ichthyophobia is often linked to fear of the unknown and lack of control over the environment. Water is an environment we don't control and can't breathe or navigate easily. Fish live in a completely alien world that we can't access or understand. It's fear of lack of control and the unknown, not of the fish itself. Ichthyophobia is one of the rarest phobias among all documented animal phobias in epidemiological studies. But when present, it's often linked to water phobia or traumatic experiences in aquatic environments. The fear is specific and contextual. Fish have long-term memory and recognize individual human faces after repeated exposure. Some fish use tools to open shells and access food intelligently. They have distinct personalities and unique behaviors by individual. Your fear of fish is a fear of finding consciousness and intelligence in a body you can't read or understand. All 8 of these phobias share one fundamental truth. They're not about the animal. They're about your mind. Your brain was built for a world that disappeared. It still detects threats that no longer exist. It amplifies dangers that are statistically irrelevant. It inherits fears from other people, transmitting them through generations as if they were absolute truths. If you suffer from one of these phobias, know this: you're not alone. Millions of people face the same internal conflict, and most of them never talk about it. But talking is the first step. Seeking help isn't weakness. It's exactly the opposite. Your brain is extremely plastic and adaptable. It can be reprogrammed. If this video was helpful, leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Your phobia doesn't define who you are. Your courage to face it does.